And hi again, I'm Dylan Black. It is Monday. It's Daytime Ottawa Rogers TV, and we're about to celebrate Agriculture Week here in the nation's capital to support all the good things that farmers grow. So who better to tell us about those things than Julie Findlay with Foodland Ontario. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to see you here. Fall's exciting.
Fall is exciting. I feel like it's fresh outside. The food is fresh. The harvest is coming through. There's still tons of colors at your market. So go to your local market or roadside stand. They're popping up all over Ottawa, which is fantastic. And they've been there all summer. We still have the strawberries out, if you've noticed. There's like a day neutral, so they'll go right until October.
That's good.
But I thought I should reintroduce the apples, because I've seen a lot of people in the grocery store kind of squeezing the apple, which is one way to see if it's ripe. If you squeeze it too much, it's overripe. If it's got a firmness to it, it's pretty good. But there's so many varieties now. You've got Paula Red, Ida, Gala, Macintosh, Empire, Spartan. Anyways, I could go through the list of them, but Foodland Ontario has them all.
And of course, Agriculture Week is pretty darn important.
It is important because those farmers are working hard, and if you've been to one of our markets in the city, they are great conversationalists. They will tell you everything you need to know, and it's kind of nice to know, like farm to table is fantastic, and it's a great way to promote all of them.
All right, we've got a big table.
I do have a big table. I love
food.
making food, and I notice that the volunteers are very excited, so it makes me even happier.
Yeah, me too.
So I know we always start with dessert because it's exciting, but I'm going to start with the meal first. And so Ontario pork, beef, or chicken is fantastic. You're always just looking for the label. And I decided to pull out an Ontario pork with a sweet potato salsa. So what I did with the pork, which was super easy, is I just added a tablespoon of cumin, a teaspoon of chili. I put the rub on. I browned it on both sides. My oven was on at 450, and I literally put the pan in for 20 minutes. Okay, so make sure it's an oven-proof pan. I did in a cast iron pan, which is fantastic. And then the salsa is just all of the colors that we have going. So I started with 2 sweet potatoes. I roasted them with an onion for just 20 minutes, and that is the base of our sweet potato salsa. I actually toasted more because I find this is a nice thing to add to any type of salad. So I got 2 in there. I've got a half a cup of Ontario cucumbers. I've got a half a cup of yellow peppers, but you can do red, orange, anything that adds color. I just like different color. And then I just did Ontario cherry tomatoes, and I quartered them. And then the best part is the little bit of sauce. So I've got 2 tablespoons of cilantro. Do you like cilantro?
I do, yeah.
Good, good. Because a lot of people, it's like a love or hate, but I haven't met too many people that dislike it.
Okay.
I've got a teaspoon of honey.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yes, the honey is delicious.
That's
so
sweetness, right?
I've learned a lot about honey and honeybees, and you know what? You could have one in your backyard. A beehive. You just need a queen.
Yeah, sure.
You know what? They would be interesting, but if you do have space, it's great.
Yeah.
I've also put in a clove of garlic. I've shredded or just scraped a little bit of lime, so a teaspoon of lime rind, and then 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is usually just 1 lime. I'm going to put this in. Mix it all up, and if you do want the flavors to meld and you have some time, then just throw it in the fridge for a couple of hours before you're serving it, and you just later add it on top of your pork or your chicken or your beef or whatever meat that you'd like. And then what you do with the leftovers, well, which I haven't seen leftovers yet.
I can imagine there probably isn't too much.
Not too many leftovers, but if you do have leftovers, it's great to just stuff it into a little sandwich the next day with some Ontario lettuce and a pita or anything else. So super easy, fun to make. And then, of course, you want to top that off with a lovely dessert.
Yes.
And like we talked about before, all those apples are in season, so let's take advantage of it.
Is this the time of season, though, where it just seems like everything is so colorful, like compared to the rest of the year?
You know what? Absolutely. I do feel it a bit in the spring, but I feel like spring jumps right into summer, and all of us are scattered, so you don't usually see it. But now that it's getting colder and comfort food, the colors are what kind of we gravitate to as it gets colder at night.
And this is like an apple crisp?
This is apple. Well, you know, it's almost like mini apple pies with a bit of cranberry. So it's an apple cranberry tart. So what I did ahead of time is I just took 4 cups of apples with 2/3 cup of cranberries, and then I added a little bit of nutmeg, sugar, and cornstarch, and 3/4 cup of water. Brought it to a boil and let it simmer for 5 minutes. That's your inside.
Okay.
And you could put it in the fridge to cool down if you'd like to. A nice cheater note is get prepared tarts if you don't want to make your own, so you can get those frozen. I'm going to get you to scoop those in. And then what I'm going to do is make an apple streusel. So on top, streusel.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, please make a mess. We'll pick it up
okay
later.
to make a mess?
Absolutely. You're going to have your oven on at 350, and they're going to cook for a half an hour or so when you're in there.
Yeah.
You can use your, I know you don't love using your hands, but.
I wouldn't use my hands for this.
So, clean hands. A tablespoon of butter with a third cup of sugar, as well as 2 tablespoons of flour. And you're just going to kind of cut your butter in until it gets a little crumbly, or at least sticks to the butter. My quickest way of doing it now is not banging around so much. It's just taking a little thing here.
About 45 seconds.
45 seconds. And what you're going to do is just spoon it on top when you're done. And you're going to put it in the oven. And you're going to cook it for about 25 to 35 minutes, or until it bubbles a little bit and your crust has browned. And then you're just about done there.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks good. I'll
this
clean
one's
it up
missing
later.
some. This one's missing some.
And this is fun, getting your kids in the kitchen. Not that I'm calling you a kid in the kitchen, but you do have fun with food.
Yeah.
So I do like coming on to share it with you.
Okay.
And then you're just going to add a little bit of the streusel on each of them, and it's voila. Well, for sakes, here is your lovely tarts.
Just like that, they're ready.
Just like that, they're ready.
Julie?
Though you know what, it's not too hard, and it's pretty fast, and it's a great little thing, so everybody just has their mini little piece.
But it is amazing, obviously, to have kids on board to do this time of year, Thanksgiving. It's just important to have the kids in the kitchen.
It is so nice because the smells, the taste, just talking about food, and as we're getting into winter, just getting to know like what foods can you eat over the holidays, what you could eat right into winter.
Okay.
We've got our root vegetables coming up, so lots of fun plans with those.
Whew, and as always, you are leaving all of this, right?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Julie Findlay. There you go, foodlandontario.ca. Great way to kick off the show, and more daytime coming up in moments. Rogers TV.